And a very pleasant good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Henley Baseball. As the Skyline Conference season continues, the Hornets find themselves at home in the friendly confines of Rosser Field on the campus of Henley High School as they get ready to take on the Phoenix Pirates. Glad to be with you today. My name is Josh Eldridge, joined by Walter Hardwell today. And coming up in just a while, we'll see the 3-5 Pirates, 1-2 in the Skyline Conference against the 7-2 Henley Hornets, 3-0 in the Skyline Conference. Henley has beaten teams like Klamath Union, Mazama, Hidden Valley to earn that 3-0 mark, whereas Phoenix, for their league record, lost to Hidden Valley, lost to Klamath Union, but last time out on Friday, they defeated the Mazama Vikings. We'll talk about the seasons that each of these two teams have had thus far in just a little bit, and then we'll meet our Kyle's Lawn Care starting lineups. It's all around the corner as we continue your coverage of Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Let's go ahead and meet the Kyle's Lawn Care starting lineups, and we'll begin with the visitors today, and that is the Phoenix Pirates. Leading off for them, the catcher, Caden Cunningham. Batting second is the second baseman, Chris Phillips, followed by the shortstop, Sam Schiltz. Batting cleanup for Phoenix is Luke Jennings, the first baseman, followed by their pitcher, Caden Sousa, hitting fifth. Batting sixth is Connor Cunningham leading off. Caden Cunningham batting here in the sixth hole for Phoenix at third base. Andre Marsing in left field batting seventh, followed by Caden Darcy in right field for Phoenix hitting eighth. And Luca Petrone rounds out the starting nine for the Phoenix Pirates. And they'll go against Corbin Hamilton on the mound for the Henley Hornets. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting nine now for Henley as Connor Shively bats leadoff for the Hornets at shortstop. Mark Carpenter is batting second at third base, followed by Jacoby Tacchini, the catcher, hitting third. Bo Pyle, the second baseman, hits cleanup for the Hornets, followed by Corbin Hamilton, the aforementioned pitcher for Henley. Ian Meyer bats sixth at first base. Carson Pimley is in right field, hitting seventh. And Carson Sims is in center field, batting eighth. Ryan Douglas rounds out the Henley order, batting ninth. Today for the Hornets, as they take the field, they've been wearing the same uniforms all season. The navy blue tops with the white numbers across their back and Henley written across their chest in navy blue, and yellow trim with the gray pants. Phoenix today in more of a home look, although they are the visitor. They've got red jerseys with Phoenix written across their chest in white with white pants today, although, again, they are on the road. Talked about the right-hander on the mound for Henley. That is Corbin Hamilton. We saw him close out the game that Henley won last time out. That was against Hidden Valley. But for the season, this will be Corbin's 4th start, his 6th overall appearance. He's got a 2-0 record over 12 1/3 innings of work and an ERA, which is a league best 5.68 coming into play today, and going up against a Phoenix lineup who has, struggled to score runs at times this year. Only one time have they scored in double digits. That was a win against Sweet Home back on March 28th. Otherwise, they've been shut out once. They've been held to 1 run 4 times this season. And in talking with their head coach, Bill Hutchinson, a little bit before the game, talking about how if they can try to attack early, score some runs, that's going to be the key. And trying to keep Henley at bay as well, although they are one of, if not the most potent offenses in the state. And in the Skyline Conference, for sure, only Klamath Union has scored more runs than them so far this year, 85 total runs for this Henley offense. Couple of other games going on around for Klamath Basin teams today. Of course, Henley softball playing behind us. They're also playing Phoenix today. Trying to give you score updates for that one throughout the afternoon. Let's see, Mazama. That's from yesterday. Mazama defeating Bonanza 15-5. And then earlier today, I believe it was Lost River who defeated Cross Point Christian 16-2. So the Raiders continue to hum in the 1A, 2A conference. And, of course, Henley looking to remain undefeated here in the Skyline. Take a look in at the Skyline Conference standings just briefly. Of course, Henley leading the pack. Hidden Valley is in second place in the conference, tied for second with Klamath Union. Both teams 2-1. Phoenix being 1-2. Mazama still looking for their first win in conference play at 0-4. And well, I don't know if very many people outside of the Klamath Union baseball program thought that they would be hanging around for second place even this early in the season. But the Pelicans have made a surge and, again, like we talked about, even defeated these Phoenix Pirates back on Tuesday last week when it was a 9-4 final over at Culver Field, the home of the Pirates. But here we go with the leadoff hitter. Connor Cunningham stepping in. Right-hander takes ball 1 low in the dirt, and we are underway 4 minutes ahead of schedule. Scheduled start time meant to be 5 o'clock, but a beautiful day for baseball. Hardly a cloud in sight. And 64 degrees as another pitch misses down low. 2-0. The count to Connor Cunningham. Cunningham lifts one. Foul behind third base. And that'll move the count to 2 balls and a strike. Cunningham, the younger Cunningham brother, just a freshman, of course, joined by his older brother, Caden, a junior on this team. It's a 2-1 count to Cunningham. The big bender froze him up from Corbin. He'll break that one out every now and then. Goes with a good 2-seam fastball. Kind of a slurve. He's got a lot of left and right action on that breaking ball, and then goes with the changeup as well. This time on a 2-2. Cunningham thought about chasing, but holds up in time. The count now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter, Connor Cunningham. That pitch is in around the knees, but called strike 3 against Cunningham. So Hamilton starting this game out with a strikeout, and that will bring up Chris Phillips. Phillips, the 4th leading hitter on this Pirates team, batting .333 to start the year. All 7 of his hits so far this season have been singles, looking to get the rally started for his Pirates. Here's the first offering from Hamilton, finds the outer third, and in the zone for strike 1. Got to control the outer parts of the strike zone today for Corbin. As that fastball outside, fouled away, 0-2. Right-hander awaits the 0-2. That one again, the breaking pitch in the dirt. Holds up in time, though. Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Chris Phillips. Hamilton again. Another off-speed pitch, and again fouled off by Phillips, staying alive in this at-bat. The last start for Corbin Hamilton came on April 5th, a complete game against North Marion. A complete game shutout. Here's the 1-2 again. That time froze Phillips on the outside fastball. Back-to-back Ks to begin this one for Hamilton, and that brings up Sam Schiltz. Hamilton's only earned run given up this season came against Staten on March 27th, but in the last 8 innings now, including the 2 outs he's gotten so far today, he's been perfect. In steps the righty Sam Schiltz, takes that pitch low in the dirt. 1-0. Jacoby Tacchini, the other half of the battery for Henley, he's behind the dish. Mark Carpenter starts at third. Connor Shively at short. Bo Pyle at second. Ian Meyer at first. Ryan Douglas in left. Carson Sims in center. And Carson Pimley in right. Two-seam fastball graces the outside for Corbin, and a ball and a strike. With 2 away in the top of the first inning, still scoreless. Here's the 1-1 from Hamilton, and again, trying to find that outside. Gets a swing and a miss from Schiltz. Count 1-2. Schiltz batting .154 to start the season for Phoenix. This time gets a hold of it, sends a ground ball out to short. Shively up with it, fires on to Meyer in time, and the Pirates are down in order in the top of the first inning. Henley gets their turn when we come back on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Josh Eldridge and Walter Hartley back with you on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. Bottom of the first we go, still scoreless. The Hornets will have their first look at Caden Sousa, the starter for Phoenix, making his second start of the year, his 4th overall appearance of the season. He is without a decision so far this year, 5 innings of work and an ERA of 5.6. Although, again, 5 innings, not a huge sample size for Sousa, so we'll see how he fares against one of the most dangerous lineups in the state in this Hornets team. Connor Shively leads off, followed by Mark Carpenter and Jacoby Tacchini for the Hornets. Here's the first pitch to the lefty Shively, up and in, and that'll go in as ball 1. Looking at Shively on the season, I've said it before, off to a little bit of a slower start than he was last year, although how can you top last year when he hit over 500? Shively takes the breaking pitch on the outside, 2-0. But batting .314 to start the year, it's certainly not bad. And the team as a whole hitting .355 on the season. Two-seam fastball runs away from the lefty, and the count now 3-0 to Shively. And getting on base, always a strong suit for Shively. An on-base percentage of .455. Here he takes strike 1 over the heart of the plate, probably taken all the way there. The count 3-1. Right-hander Sousa kicks and delivers. Shively sends one foul behind home plate. One of the few left-handed bats in the Skyline Conference. Shively poses an interesting threat to right-handers. This time, Shively ground ball out to second. Up with it is Phillips. He throws on to first in time, And that is the first out in the bottom of the first. Going around the diamond for Phoenix, Cunningham catching. The older Cunningham there at third, Schultz at short, Phillips at second, Jennings at first, Marsing in left, Patrone in center, and Darcy in right. Now in steps Mark Carpenter, the reigning 4A Player of the Year. And off to a blistering start this year. .514 batting average. That's tops in the conference by a fairly wide margin, too. First pitch to Carpenter. Flares one out to second. One hop. Phillips up with it and on to first in time. I think Carpenter might have wanted to hold up on that swing and decided too late. Sent a routine ball out to second for the second out in the inning. Well, that brings up Jacoby Tacchini, and a guy who has had a really great start to his freshman year. As a matter of fact, tied for third in the conference in batting average at .429. He's got the second most hits in the conference at 15. He takes a ball outside, 1-0. Not only that, Tacchini again as a freshman leading the Skyline Conference in RBI with 19. Here's the 1-0 pitch to him. That one came in and hit him on the front elbow. So as Tacchini gets on board, we'll likely see Porter Frost come out and run for him, as has been typical this year with Tacchini being the catcher, afforded that courtesy runner, and it brings up Bo Pyle. So runner on first, 2 outs, and in steps Bo Pyle for the Henley Hornets. Pyle batting .400 to start the year on quite a streak at the plate coming into this at-bat. 5 extra base hits in his last 2 games. He's really seeing the ball well. First pitch, a high fastball, might have chased that one 0-1. If you're going to go after a power hitter, sometimes that high fastball can be a pitcher's best friend. You wouldn't think so, because if a hitter gets a hold of it, it might not see it back, but that pitch looks so good, you can often get hitters to chase out of the zone. This time a bouncing ball to third. Cunningham plays it on a hop. Throw across the diamond in time, and the Hornets wind up scoreless in the first inning. No hits, but they leave a runner stranded. We'll go to the top of the second inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Top of the second inning, still scoreless here at Henley High School as the Hornets taking on the Phoenix Pirates. Today's broadcast brought to you in part by the Pacific Power Foundation, who donated nearly $70,000 in 2024 to organizations like Lake County 4-H, Klamath Basin Senior Citizen Center, and the Ross Ragland Theater. Big thanks to the Pacific Power Foundation for coming on board for this season of Henley baseball. And as we get ready for the top of the second inning, it is Luke Jennings, Caden Sousa, and Caden Cunningham due up for the Phoenix Pirates. Hamilton making quick work in the top of the first inning, open for a similar job well done here. A bouncing ball out towards short. Charging is Shively. A throw off balance in time. And a great play there by Shively. Kind of an underhand throw from behind the pitcher's mound. 1 pitch and 1 out in the second inning. This will bring up Caden Sousa, the starting pitcher, trying to make something happen for his Pirates. We talked about Sousa on the mound this season, but also the team's second leading hitter in terms of batting average, bats .385 to start the season for Phoenix. All of his hits, again, have been singles. Again, it's been something of a theme this year for the Pirates as he takes the 1-0 pitch outside for a strike. They get guys on with singles, but they're missing that big boom to try to get more guys around and in. But it all starts with a base hit. Sousa swings through the 1-1 pitch. Ball and 2 strikes now. And not a guy who strikes out a ton. We'll see his 2-strike approach here. Takes the upstairs fastball, 2-2. Only struck out 2 times so far this season. The right-hander awaits the pitch from Hamilton, and it's weakly hit down the first base line. Could be trouble. Fielded in foul territory. We've seen that a couple times this season where the cut of the grass pushes a ball back into fair territory, but that time Hamilton, the pitcher, coming off the mound and being sure to touch it while it was still in foul territory, and so we'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 away, top of the second inning. Still scoreless. Caden Cunningham waits on deck for Phoenix. We've got 2 Cadens here, one spelled with a K, one spelled with a C, so they are different. 2-2. Upstairs fastball taken, and the count runs full, 3-2. See where Hamilton goes. He's had good command of the breaking ball today. Here's the full count pitch. An outside fastball froze Sousa. 3 strikeouts. All have come on that outside fastball from Hamilton. He's finding it well. 2 away in the top of the second inning, and here's Cunningham. This season, off to a slow start. 100 batting average to start the season. Here's the outside fastball, low for a ball. 2 hits. Each of them have been singles, but seemingly have come up in big spots for his team where he's got 4 RBIs this year. Here he hits one fairly well to left field. Douglas, the left fielder, moving over, battles the sun, but makes the catch for the 3rd out. And again, Hamilton, quick work of the Phoenix order in the second inning. Will go to the bottom half, again still scoreless. This is Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Welcome back to Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Josh Eldridge here with Walter Hartley. Walter, why don't you tell us about one of our sponsors today?
All right, first up we got Gino's Cafe. Gino's Cafe on East Main Street is open every morning at 6:30, serving their famous breakfast burritos. They're served all day long, along with other menu items like burgers, monthly specials, and Italian favorites. Order online at iloveginos.com or at DoorDash.
Thank you, Walter. Nice job. And here in the bottom of the second inning, first pitch taking for Corbin Hamilton, as it's Hamilton, Meyer, and Pimley to start this inning. A line drive the other way gets down into right field, and Hamilton with a leadoff single in the second has the Hornets in business. They look to get on the board here in the early going. As I said, it's important for Henley to get on the board early, try to rattle this Phoenix pitching staff. When they get rolling, they can be hard to stop. And even though Henley beat Phoenix in every game they played a season ago, the Pirates certainly did not make it easy. You look at the results from last year. It was pick move over to first, back safely. 7-0, 10-0 at their place, and you say, well, yeah, those are big mercy rule victories, but you look at the amount of runs Henley was able to put on other teams, 17, 15, 12, 13, 18. So holding them to 7-10 is pretty good, all things considered. Meyer shows bunt, and it looks like he held up in time, so the count 1-0 with a runner aboard at first. After Meyer in the order, it's Carson Pimley. Set on the mound is Sousa. Small lead off of first from Hamilton, but he takes off. The throw down is not going to be in time and wide left of the bag, so Corbin Hamilton in there with a steal. On the season for Corbin, third stolen base. Now in scoring position for Ian Meyer. And they count 1-1. Sousa set, delivers a breaking pitch. Meyer swings over the top of, a ball and 2 strikes. 281 hitter this season for Ian Meyer, 8 RBIs. And a good opportunity here with a runner in scoring position. Here's the 1-2 offering to Meyer. That one in the dirt, but Cunningham stays in front of it. Meyer stays alive in this at-bat. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last time out for Meyer was a 1-for-4 day. Scored a run in that as well. That was against Mazama last week. He awaits the 2-2. Meyer swings through the fastball, goes down on strikes for the first out in the second inning. And that will bring up Carson Pimley. Pimley batting .355 this season. An on-base percentage of .432. He's been patient, a guy who is making his stake on this team. Was not a starter last year behind so many veteran players who left Henley, but getting his chance now, sends a screamer down the first base line foul. The count moves to 0-1. Really, this whole bottom 4 guys in the Henley order sort of fit that bill. Meyer, Pimley, Sims, Douglas, guys who didn't get a ton of playing time a season ago, but are making the most of their opportunities this year. Their first time starting for the Henley Hornets. Here's the 0-1. Finds the outside third. 0-2 to Pimley. An outside pitch has been called by our home plate umpire all day. All the hitters seemingly been taking that outside fastball, but it's been there, and it's going to continue to be there, so hitter's going to have to adjust. Here's the 0-2. That one again. I think Pimley thought he might have seen strike 3, but he was gifted with ball 1 instead. He'll stay alive. Sousa set. Has to do it again here. Catcher sets up on the inner third, and the pitch is lifted foul. Pimley in a battle up there, and again Carson Sims waits on deck. Decent lead off at second base from Hamilton, and the delivery is once more fouled. Quite the battle brewing here at the plate. '25th pitch for Sousa coming up in the ball game, and it's strike 3 against Carson Pimley. Chases the heater outside of the zone, and now there are 2 outs in the second inning as Carson Pimley looks to capitalize on the leadoff base hit for Henley, but now has to do it with 2 outs. It's almost certainly going to take a base hit to get the job done here. Sims, though, not a bad guy to have up at the plate when you need a base hit. So move over to second base. Back safely is Hamilton. Sims tied for third in the conference in batting average, .429. That's second on his team as well. Here's the first pitch to him. Sims fouls it off, 0-1. .429, an OPS of 1.063. That's third best on the team. On base plus slugging shows you if you get on base and you hit extra base hits, well, that's what that number gives you. Anything over 1 is fantastic, and Carson at 1.063. 0-1 pitch to him. Off-speed pitch, Sims looks at on the outer third, 0-2. First time Sims had seen the breaking ball today. It looked like he was ready for the fastball. That off-speed pitch was unfriendly to him. Now has to be defensive, cover the outer third in an 0-2 count. Hamilton a big lead off second. And the pitch. Hamilton on the move, pitches in the dirt. Swing and miss, strike 3, but a drop third strike is going to allow Sims to reach first. And as I said, in the meantime, advancing to third, it's not Hamilton. As a matter of fact, it's, we'll have to get who that is exactly, but now runners at the corners for Henley, still with 2 away. Looks like it's Barrett out there on the base pad. Sims on the move. He's going to take second, and I think that's going to be a balk. As Sousa came set, couldn't decide which base he wanted to throw to, and committed the balk in the process. So Sims advances to second, and a run comes home as Henley breaks our scoreless tie in the bottom of the second inning via the balk. Ryan Douglas at the plate now for the Hornets. Runner in scoring position. Douglas has to duck out of the way of that one, gets to the backstop, and Sims advances to third, now just 90 feet away from scoring. You got to feel Sousa believes he should be out of this inning. Got Carson Sims on strike 3 for the third out. But again, that drop third strike has extended this inning. Now Sims nearly ready to score. Small conference at the mound between the catcher Cunningham and the pitcher Sousa. And imagine, say, get out of this inning, shore things up in the top half of the next. But a big spot here for the 9-hole hitter for Henley. Look at the season for Ryan Douglas. Off to a slow start, 172. In terms of starters, that's the lowest batting average on the team, but guy who's fast, all he has to do really is put the ball in play, and he can make things happen. Pitch on the way from Sousa, the 1-0. Line put back right up the middle, actually caught Sousa, ricocheted off him, gathered in time to make the throw, not in time. Wow. Sousa doing everything he could. Sims scores in the process, so that's going to be an infield single for Douglas and an RBI. Sims comes in to score, 2-0 Henley, and the lineup turns over for Connor Shively. Thought Sousa nearly recovered in time, and in fact, the Phoenix coach thought that Coach Hutchinson might be out to argue his case a little bit, although maybe just to have a conversation with his catcher. But Sousa took quite a shot on that line drive, allowing Douglas to reach first base and improve Henley's lead to 2-0. I think it must be an equipment issue with the young catcher's mask, it looks like. And we are the only action in the Skyline Conference today. This is game 1 of 4 between these two teams this season. They will meet again on Saturday this weekend when the Hornets travel to Culver Field to take on the Pirates. And they will play one more time in the final Skyline Conference game of the season. That'll be coming up on May 19th. And, of course, we'll be with you through all of the Henley Skyline Conference games, plus a Saturday doubleheader against Junction City at the beginning of May. I'll be with you for those select games as well. Back ready for action in the top of the second inning. 2 outs. Henley leads 2-0. Runner aboard at first is Ryan Douglas, and at the plate is Connor Shively. First pitch from Caden Sousa. Runner on the move. It's a pitch out. They're trying to cut down Douglas. The throw is in time, but Douglas slides underneath it, stealing second base in the process. Now he's in scoring position for Shively. For Douglas this season, that is his 3rd stolen base. Pitch to Shively, sent back the other way. in the gap. Schultz gloves it, but his throw is not in time. Shively beating out the infield single. Douglas advances to third. Runners at the corners for Mark Carpenter. Carpenter 0 for 1 today, grounded out in the first inning, but didn't really get a fair shake at things. He offered up at the first pitch and I think accidentally made contact with it, so Carpenter a bit more locked in here. A move to third, and actually Sousa is just going to step off, hold on to things. He thought about throwing to Douglas, but his third baseman Cunningham was not there. On the other hand, over at first, Jennings is holding the runner. That's Shively. And the first pitch from Carpenter is high. Shively is going to steal second with no throw down. Don't want to risk Douglas scoring there on the back end. So 2 runners in scoring position for arguably, if it is arguable at all, the best hitter in the Skyline Conference at this point in the year. The 1-0 from Sousa. Breaking pitch finds the outer third. 0-1 to Carpenter. 1-1 to Carpenter. After him in the Henley order, it's Jacoby Tacchini. Sousa working from the windup with the runner at third. The 1-1 misses outside, 2-1. And just to take you back a few batters ago, 2 outs with Carson Sims at the plate. The drop third strike has extended this inning. Since then, Henley back-to-back base hits as Carpenter takes ball 3. 3-1 now. Douglas an RBI single, and Shively reaching on the infield single. And Carpenter in a 3-1 count. The pitch from Sousa. That one taken outside, strike 2. Again, that outside pitch has been there today. Hitters have to adjust. May not like a pitch an inch or so off the plate, but it's been called a strike. It's consistent. Got to prepare for it. Here's the 3-2. That one is in the dirt. It took a bounce off the wall. Breaking for the plate was Douglas. Slides in there safely. And a pass ball will allow Douglas to score. Now 3-0. Runners at the corners as Carpenter aboard on the walk will bring up Jacoby Tacchini. Shively moving to third in the process. This is what Henley can do, can just bleed these innings and really make it hard to get out of them. It's how they've scored so many runs this year. They're just tough to put away. Ahead of the at-bat with Tacchini, again, the catcher Cunningham, the pitcher Sousa having a brief conference out on the hill. Tacchini, a dangerous man with runners on base, leads the conference in RBI at 19. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat, too, as if he needed any more motivation. Bo Pyle waits on deck. Pitch to Tacchini. On the move is Carpenter. The throw down is going to be cut off by the pitcher, Sousa. And nothing else doing on the base paths for Henley. So 2 runners in scoring position for Tacchini. It was somewhat of a pitch out there. So a 1-0 count to the catcher and freshman for Henley. Son of Henley assistant, Joe Tacchini. Here's the 1-0. Jacoby takes that pitch in the dirt. Count 2-0. No action in the Phoenix bullpen. They think that Sousa can get out of this one. All 3 runs that have come across to score this inning unearned against Sousa. Ground ball to third. Cunningham up with it. Throw across the diamond. Takes the first baseman off the bag. And a run will come in to score. Shively touches home. It is 4-0 Henley. Carpenter advances to third. The Hornets will have runners at the corner still with 2 outs for Bo Pyle. That an error will extend this inning. E6 in the book as Schultz' throw took the first baseman off the bag. And that will bring up the 9th hitter this inning for Henley, Bo Pyle, who's 0 for 1 today, grounded out in the first inning. Pitch to Pyle. Fastball on the outer third is in there for a strike. Trying to advance into scoring position is Frost, and he's in there. Frost running in there for Takini. Swipes second. Again, Carpenter still there at third. So again, 2 more in scoring position for the Hornets. The pitch to Pyle, an off-speed pitch, misses upstairs, 1-1. Outfield shaded a little bit to the left, although there is a huge gap in right center field with the right fielder playing a little bit closer to the foul pole. If Pyle can find a way to go the other way, he'll most certainly clear the bases and wind up with extra bases himself. Took a pitch low. Now it's 2-1 as Sousa lines up for the delivery. That one in the dirt. Skips to the backstop. Carpenter breaks for the plate, and he will score. In the process, Frost advances to third. Now 5-0 Henley. That a wild pitch to Sousa, or I guess for Sousa. As Henley has plated 5 unearned runs this inning. The pitch. That one misses high. Breaking for the plate is Frost, and he will score. And now, after the bases are clear and 6 runs home in the inning, that will cause Coach Bill Hutchinson to emerge from the dugout. We'll see if he decides to make a move. 6 runs is never what you're after, but I'd be shocked if they pull Sousa here. I mean, again, all of these runs have been unearned. He thought he found his way out of this inning, but in fact, they will make a change. So we're going to step aside, and we'll introduce you to the new Phoenix pitcher when we come back. With 2 away in the bottom of the second inning, Henley has broken out to a 6-run lead. We'll be back on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
New pitcher in for the Phoenix Pirates. It'll be it'll be Chris Phillips. Taking a look at Phillips on the season for Phoenix as he comes in a fairly disastrous inning, although the situation he inherits is the base is empty. And I believe a 2-1 count to Bo Pyle. The bases at one point had many Hornets on them, but a couple of wild pitches, a passed ball spelled the end of the day for Caden Sousa, and here we see Chris Phillips. Here's the pitch. Pardon me, base is not empty. Actually, going to see Bo Pyle aboard at first. I must have missed the outcome of that at bat, but here is Corbin Hamilton. Now aboard at second is Bo Pyle. Pyle aboard from the walk that ended the last at-bat. So there was the end for Sousa. So Phillips not responsible for the runner out there at second, but looking to end the inning against Corbin Hamilton. Right now behind in the count, 1-0. That one finds the zone, 1-1. Pitch there, swung through from Hamilton. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. This season for Phillips, 15 innings of work and a 1.8 ERA. He's been stellar this year for Phoenix. Here's the 1-2. That one low in the dirt, bounces to the plate. Count even now, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner at second inning in the bottom of the second inning. Ian Meyer waits on deck. The 2-2 once more, this time hit in the air, shallow center field. Center fielder racing in, but it's going to drop down in front of Patron. That's going to allow Pyle to score from second, and an RBI single for Corbin Hamilton makes him 2 for 2 this inning. Give him an RBI as Pyle scores, and in steps Ian Meyer. Struck out earlier this inning, but looking for a bit of redemption with a runner on first in a 7-run ball game. First pitch to Meyer, misses wide. After Meyer in the order, it's Carson Pimley. Phillips takes his time, he's set. Move over to first, and a nice job by the first baseman Sousa to keep that in front of him, and that can bring us to what the other defensive changes there for Phoenix. So as Chris Phillips came in from second base to pitch, Caden Sousa moved to first, and the former first baseman Jennings move over to second base. As Meyer sends one fairly deep center field, back is the center fielder Patron. He'll put that one away to end the inning. But the Hornets score 7 runs in the second inning, 4 base hits, and 1 runner left as we go to the third on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Okay.
What I've noticed is
top of the third inning, Henley piling on 7 runs in the bottom half of the second to build up this lead. Corbin Hamilton's looking to keep it right where it is. He'll face the bottom third of the Phoenix order. That's Andre Marsing, Caden Darcy, and Luca Patron. Six up and 6 down for the Phoenix Pirates so far this game, but quite a long layoff for Corbin that last inning. It lasted quite some time, so we'll see if he's still feeling warm out there after sitting for probably about 10 or 15 minutes. Line drive to center field, first pitch swinging for Marsing. That one is chased down by Sims in center. Had to go quite a ways into the right field gap, but pulled it in for the out. That will bring up Caden Darcy. Looking at the season for Darcy, just only 1 game under his belt so far in 2 plate appearances in that 1 game. He is yet to record a hit, but looking for his first chance here. First pitch looking at Hamilton's strike 1. Darcy not listed on the Phoenix roster. Could be an underclassman. But he takes strike 2 on the outside from that fastball from Corbin Hamilton. Now working again. Here's the 0-2. Chases, swings, and misses at a pitch in the dirt. 2 quick outs in the third inning. 4 strikeouts for Corbin Hamilton as well, as the number 9 hitter in the order, Luca Patron, steps in for Phoenix. Patron, in a way, sort of works as a second leadoff hitter for the Phoenix Pirates with the speed that he has. He hasn't gotten as many base hits as I think he would have liked to start the season, but when he does get on base, he can be dangerous. So somewhat of a table setter for the second time through the order. as he's ahead in the count, 2-0. That one misses wide, 3-0, and he might have a chance to do just that as the lineup flips over next for Connor Cunningham. Hamilton trying to find a way into the zone here. The 3-0 is going to find the zone. That one was high and in, but over the plate. 3-1 the count. That two-seam fastball has just enough dip on it that it can break back into the zone. There, Hamilton well high for ball 4. That puts runner on base with 2 outs in the third inning. First base runner for Phoenix this game, virtue of the walk, is Connor Cunningham. Drops the shin guards and gets ready to step in. Hamilton ready with the pitch. That one in the dirt. Takini keeps it in front of him, 1-0. Pirates coached by Bill Hutchinson in his 12th season with the Phoenix Pirates, a career record of 117 and 160. It's been some time since one of his teams has beaten a Henley team as Connor Cunningham takes a pitch outside, 1-1. Last time Phoenix was able to beat Henley was on May 5th, 2021. It was a 5-3 win for Phoenix. That was 13 meetings ago. Oh boy, Connor Cunningham took a pitch up high, hit his helmet. He looks to be okay. That's why you wear those things after all. As Cunningham is aboard at first, Patron moves to second, and in steps Chris Phillips. Started the game at second base, now the pitcher for Phoenix. That's with a couple of runners on, but he's 0 for 1 today. And, well, we'll see a meeting on the mound. Looks like that's Coach Craig Connor making his way out. Connor, the pitching coach for the Hornets, also the pitching coach for the Klamath Falls Falcons American Legion baseball team, as well as spending his winters as a basketball official, was actually the Oregon basketball official of the year this past winter was Mr. Craig Connor. So congratulations to him for that honor as he heads back to the dugout. No changes made on the hill for Henley as Hamilton stays out there. And again, Patron at second, Cunningham at first, and Chris Phillips, who's 0 for 1, settles into the right-handed batter's box. Hamilton checks the runner at second and delivers a high fastball for ball 1. Phillips a tall player, but when he gets in his batting stance, bends his knees quite a bit, shrinks the strike zone, also probably provides some power coming out of his back legs. Here's the 1-0. That pitch also in the dirt. Takini keeps it in front of him, 2-0. Hard work there from the freshman catcher. I've said it once on these airwaves. I'll say it again. Always can appreciate the work of a good catcher. Not let anything get by him. And Takini, even though he's young, certainly fits the bill. A 2-0. Off-speed pitch, and there, opposite work for Takini. Has to jump out of his stance to bring in ball 3 and keep it from getting behind him. Hamilton in a little bit of hot water here in the third. Had 2 quick outs, but a walk, a hit by pitch, and now a 3-0 count at the plate could load the bases for the middle of the Pirates' order. 3-0, that one does miss. And a walk issued to Phillips. Loads the bases for Sam Schiltz. Patron to third, Cunningham to second, and again, Phillips aboard at first. Here is Sam Schiltz, who is 0 for 1 today. He grounded out back in the first inning. This season for Schiltz, batting .154. An extra base hit this season, 3 singles for him. Bats third in the order for Phoenix. Here's the first pitch to him. It finds the outer third for strike 1. Now, this is where the Pirates have had trouble at times this season. Getting guys on base, one thing, but actually getting them across to score has been the biggest challenge this year. Here's the 0-1. Curveball hit the other way. That gets into right field. That's going to score 1. Rounding second and headed home is Connor Cunningham. Actually, he's going to stay put at third. Pirates don't want to risk giving up this opportunity as Luke Jennings steps in. Patron across to give Phoenix a little bit of life, down 7-1. Everybody else moves up a station. Phillips to second, Cunningham to third, and Schultz aboard with an RBI single. Well, there you go. Schultz able to put his team on the board with his third RBI of the season as Luke Jennings steps in. Jennings batting .364. That's third best on the team. Misses low, 1-0. And just to continue to prove my point about Phoenix, and of course they're trying to get the job done here, but earlier in the season, a loss to Klamath Union. So here's the 1-0 pitch. Misses high. The Pirates were down most of the game, but battled in the seventh inning to get the tying run to the plate. And that was with one out in the inning. They then squabbled that chance and wound up losers against Klamath Union. That was earlier in the season, so it's happened to them before where they've been in situations like this, tried to capitalize and been unable to, but now here we are, they've got a base hit and a run in. Luke Jennings, the cleanup hitter, looking to do just that, clean up all those guys out there. Bases loaded for him in a 2-0 count. Low batting stance for the second baseman for the Pirates. Sends that one high, shallow right field. Could be playable for Pimley. He doesn't make the catch. That is a fair ball down the line. Digging for three is Jennings, and he is in there. And a triple for Luke Jennings clears the bases as Phoenix chips away. It is now a 7-4 ball game. That one was hit towards the line. Could have been foul for Carson Pimley, but he touched the ball in fair territory, bobbled it, and it hit the turf. But since he touched it while it was fair, that's a fair ball. And a 3 RBI triple for the Pirates. And now another runner just 90 feet away from scoring. First pitch to Sousa is low. He was actually called a strike, 0-1. Swung on and missed. Sousa behind at the count, 0-2. Hamilton finds the 0-2. Here's the pitch. That is swung on and missed and will end the inning, but not before the Pirates score 4 on 2 base hits. They leave one stranded as we go to the bottom of the third inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Bottom of the third inning as Henley looks to answer as they gave up 4 runs in the top half of the third. They'll have the bottom third of the order due up in the bottom of the third inning. It's Carson Pimley, Carson Sims, and Ryan Douglas. Pimley looking for a little bit of redemption, although the play in the last inning was not ruled an error, certainly had an opportunity to make an inning-ending play. Was unable to do so in right field. So getting the rally started in the third inning to try and answer would certainly go a long way for that young man's confidence. Got ahead in the count 1-0. Fouls that pitch off 1-1. Pimley 0 for 1 today. He struck out back in the second inning, but That was before Chris Phillips took over on the hill. And here's the pitch from Phillips. That one is hit into right field. Out of play, foul, count 1-2. And as we talk about Chris Phillips, the new pitcher, we can finally close the book on Phoenix's previous pitcher, that being Caden Sousa, who exits the game after an inning and 2/3, giving up 7 runs, none of them earned. Gave up 3 hits. He struck out 3 and walked 2. Chris Phillips looking to keep things right where they are, but in a 1-2 count, he plunks Pimley and sends him to first. So that'll bring up Carson Sims. He actually struck out in the bottom of the 2nd inning, but was able to reach on a drop 3rd strike and would later come around to score on a pass ball. Looking to get on base and potentially shoot a ball the other way. Actually, he's going to lay down a bunt down the third base line. It is foul. And we'll see, even though it's just 1 strike, if Sims tries to lay another one down. Hornets playing a little bit of small ball at the bottom of the order. Henley entering the day on a 4-game winning streak over that period of just 4 games. They've outscored their opponents 50-5. And so Phoenix is already knocking on the door of matching that total of the last 4 games, but Henley still, of course, in front. Sims comes in and gets hit on the hand. That doesn't feel good, but I'm sure he'll take the base. Pimley to second, Sims to first, back-to-back hit batsman brings up Ryan Douglas. When we talk about Sims' ability at the plate to get on base, like I said, 3rd on the team in hitting, 429 batting average. I believe, I'm trying to pull this up, I think he leads the team in being hit as well. Here's Douglas showing bunt, lays down the breaking ball, a perfectly placed bunt. Douglas won't beat out the back end, but advancing both runners into scoring position. Pimley and Sims now at 2nd and 3rd with just 1 away. He can't draw it up much better on a sacrifice bunt there for Ryan Douglas. Here's Connor Shively taking ball 1 high. Shively is 1 for 2 today. He grounded out in the first, singled, and would come around to score in the 2nd inning. Here's the 1-0 to him. Shively lifts it the other way, foul. 1-1. Shively this season with, 6 RBI. Here he pops one up. Right center field. Center fielder under it. Patron makes the catch. Tagging to score is Pimley, and Sims advances to 3rd. So there's your sacrifice fly and an RBI for Connor Shively. 2 away and a runner at 3rd in an 8-4 ball game. And that will bring up Mark Carpenter. Carpenter 0 for 1 in the ball game thus far. He grounded out in the first and walked, came around to score in the 2nd inning. Already 1 run home for the Hornets. Here's the first pitch to Carpenter. Carpenter rips one the other way, ground ball into left field. That's going to score Sims. An RBI single for Carpenter with 2 outs makes it a 9-4 ball game. Henley piling on here in the 3rd. Now Jacoby Takini bats for the Hornets. He is 0 for 1 today. He was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning. Reached on an error in the 2nd. And Porter Frost would come around to score as his courtesy runner. Here's the pitch to Takini. Carpenter taking off for 2nd. Dives in safely. Carpenter in scoring position with his 2nd stolen base of the day for now Jacoby Takini. Chance to knock him in. Was that pitch called a strike? It was up around Carpenter's letters and off the plate, but the scoreboard reads 0-1. So that's what we're going with. As Chris Phillips comes set. Kicks. Fires a breaking pitch. Takini scorches it foul. Count 0-2. After Takini in the order, it's Bo Pyle. Again, 0-2 the count to Jacoby. Chokes up a bit, and he's ready. Here's the pitch. Curveball to Keeney, sends it deep. Left center field. That one is over the head of the center fielder Patron and off the wall. Takini jogs into second, and an RBI double makes it 10 for Henley. First extra base hit of the day for the Hornets leads to a run as Carpenter comes in to score, and that brings up Bo Pyle. Boy, Takini really put a jolt behind that one. Hit it to about the deepest part of the field, so it wasn't over the fence, but an extra base hit certainly feels good as Porter Frost comes out to run for him. For Takini this season, that is his first double of the year. Other than that, it had been all singles and home runs for the freshman, but that time winding up at second for the first time this season. Here's Bo Pyle. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out in the first. As he swings through that one, 0-1. He also grounded out in the first, walked in the second, and would come in to score later that inning. The big 7-run inning that Henley put up. And again, all of those runs unearned, but they've earned a few here in the third. Now up 10-4. Here's the 0-1. We'll have to wait as Phillips steps off to look the runner back to second. Again, it's Porter Frost. Boy, he takes an even more aggressive lead off a second after that pickoff attempt. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball, grounded to third, over the bag, and foul. Oh, man. 0-2 the count. Was certain to be extra bases for Bo Pyle, but instead he'll have to settle back into an 0-2 count. To Pyle. And the pitch. Pyle hits that one off the end of the bat, flared out to left field, down for a base hit. Pyle stretching for two. Frost will score. The throw to get Pyle not in time. And just like that, Bo Pyle makes it an 11-4 ball game, and in the process adds another extra base hit. 6 now in the last 3 games, including this one. With 2 away, Henley builds their lead out to 8. Back-to-back doubles brings up Corbin Hamilton. Chris Phillips again entering this game with a sub-2 ERA. The Hornets not having too much issue with him here in the third. The pitch. Breaking ball, found the zone. A big bender there from Phillips. Hamilton watches it the first time there. 0-1 the count. Hamilton 2 for 2 today. He singled twice in the second inning. Came around to score the first time. Here's the 0-2. That pitch going to miss outside. 1-1. Hamilton, of course, the starting pitcher as well, wants to build upon this lead. 1-1. And the pitch. Hamilton chases that one out of the zone on the breaking ball. Down in the count, 1-2. On deck after Corbin is Ian Meyer. 2 away, bottom of the third inning, 11-4 our score between the Hornets and the Pirates. 1-2 offering to Hamilton, looked at in the dirt, ball 2, and Bo Pyle lines up at third. Call it a stolen base for Bo after that pitch in the dirt. And the 2-2 offering again from Phillips, a slow leg kick, and the pitch misses high. Phillips maybe doing his best to try to control the pace out there, certainly important for the pitcher to do, but slowed down his delivery on that pitch. We'll see where he goes here in the 3-2. Back to normal speed, and the pitch is in the dirt. That'll put runners at the corners for Ian Meyer. Meyer thus far 0 for 2. He struck out and flew out, both of those in the second inning. It was 2 hit batters that started this rally for Henley. And Carpenter singled later. Takini and Pyle both doubled. Really pile on here in the second inning as the first pitch, a two-seam fastball in the zone against Meyer. Throw down to try to cut down Hamilton. Driving to the plate. Pyle scores, diving in safely. Henley up 12-4, and in its second is Corbin Hamilton. Chase Baird running in for Hamilton out there at second. Decent lead off of second base. Here's the 0-1 home. Again, that two-seam fastball breaking back over the plate and an 0-2 count to Meyer. Meyer hugging the plate a little bit, awaits the 0-2. Hornets have been good at hitting with 2 strikes so far today. And it looks like they've got Barrett stuck out there after stepping off. Tries to go back to second. Now back to third. They're running him down. Now switches directions. Trying to go back to second. And now back to third. Pirates running this pickle well from a defensive standpoint. Barrett trying to stay alive out there. Diving into second. And they got him. That will end the inning. A base running miscue will end the third inning for Henley. But not before they plate 4 runs. And they do it with 3 base hits, no runners left stranded, and we will head to the fourth next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside. It's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. I'm sure people watch it after, though.
Back with you here at the top of the fourth inning where Henley leads Phoenix 12-4. So far for Henley, 12 runs on 8 hits, no errors, and they have left 2 runners on base. For Phoenix, 4 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and they have left 1 runner on base. And leading off this inning is Caden Cunningham for the Pirates. He's followed by Andre Marsing and Caden Darcy. First pitch offering a foul ball down the third base line. Cunningham behind in the count, 0-1. Right-hander settles back in against Corbin. Here's the pitch, and that one's in the dirt. 1-1. Cunningham 0 for 1 today. Flew out back in the second inning. A fly ball to left field ended that second inning. Here he takes a pitch downstairs, 2-1. Cunningham, the older brother of the two, as he awaits the 2-1, swings through it 2-2. Like we talked about, certainly wanting to rectify the 13-game losing streak that Phoenix has against these Hornets. 2-2, swung on and missed in the dirt. Takini throwing outside into foul territory on the drop third strike. That will do it for Cunningham, bringing up Andre Marsing. 6 strikeouts on the day for Corbin Hamilton. He's certainly dealing the ball well today. In steps the right-hander Andre Marsing, 0 for 1 today. A fly out to center field. Here he takes a pitch wide, 1-0. Pitch to Marsing is there. 1-1 the count. Hamilton again from the windup. This time a ground ball hit out to second base. Bo Pyle taking his time, up with it, easy throw to first in time for the second out. And for those wondering, like I said, Hamilton at 6 strikeouts so far in the game. His season high was actually his last start against North Berrien, where he set down 10 Huskies via the strikeout as Caden Darcy steps in. First pitch, strike one. Best pitch in baseball. Darcy is one of those strikeout casualties from earlier today. He went down back in the third inning. Takes a pitch high, ball and a strike. It was the third inning in which Phoenix scored all 4 of their runs. Here's the 1-1, chased at 1 and 2. Hamilton had walked basically the bases loaded before a couple of Phoenix hits allowed those runs to score. Trying to set him down in order here, and he does just that as he gets Darcy chasing the curveball for strike 3. The Pirates down in order in the 4th. Hornets look to pile on in the bottom half. Back after this on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media,
The information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Josh Eldridge and Walter Hartley back with you on 104.3 and 960 Sports, mybasin.com. Bottom of the 4th inning, and Henley leads 12-4. Walter, why don't you tell us a little bit more about some of our wonderful sponsors?
All right, brought to you by Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Picking the right path can make the journey easier, the distance shorter, and can assure you end up at the right place. Whether you're dreaming of owning a home or just want a great checking account, Pacific Crest Federal Union can help you reach your goals.
Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union, they're on Washburn Way and on South 6th Street and on Business 97 as well. Been a sponsor of ours for a number of seasons. It's Henley up 8 runs here in the bottom of the 4th inning, looking to tack on a few more in hopes of a mercy rule in the 5th. But of course, it's up to, I believe that's still Chris Phillips out there for Phoenix, up to him to try and keep things where they are. I want to make sure that's still Mr. Phillips out there. Actually looks to be Phillips has moved over to third. Looked like a new arm out there. As Hogden steps up to the mound for Phoenix. We'll take a look at him in just a moment. His first task, though, will be Ian Meyer, 0 for 2 today. Got second gift at life here as he went through most of his at-bat in the 3rd inning, but not before Barrett was caught in the middle out on the base paths. First pitch missed, 1-0. Second offering misses as well, 2-0. So a handful of changes for Phoenix. Looks like we're also going to see Brenner behind the dish. That pitch misses high, 3-0. Phillips is moved over to third. That means both Cunninghams are out of the game. Otherwise, Schiltz still at third. Jennings still at second. Sousa still there at first. A 3-0 count to Meyer. That one misses high, and he's aboard on a walk to start the fourth inning. So with Chris Phillips exiting the game after that last inning, you can close the book on his day as well. Pitched 1 1/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 5 runs, each of them earned. He did not strike out any Hornets, but he did walk 1 as the first pitch to Carson Pimley fouled off. 0-1 the count. Pimley has struck out, and he was hit by a pitch would come around to score earlier in the game. One other score update from around the Skyline Conference. Looks like top of the fourth inning. And Klamath Union trailing the Hidden Valley Mustangs 5-0. Back here at this one, 12-4 Henley with a runner in scoring position. That's Ian Meyer. Pitch misses high, a ball and a strike. The 1-0, the 1-1 misses, 2-0 to Pimley. Looking at Ogden this season, this is his third appearance, his first appearance out of the bullpen. 3 2/3 innings pitched, and an ERA of 21. And again, just 3 2/3, so too early to tell. Count 3-1 to Pimley. After Pimley, it's Carson Sims in the order for Henley. And again, Ian Meyer out there at second. And I think the home plate umpire just brushing off the plate. We'll see as Pimley settles back in. Count, according to the home plate umpire, is 3-0. Well, here's the pitch to Pimley. That one finds the zone. The curveball in around the knees, 3-1. Never seen Ogden before, but he throws a hard fastball. That was the first we've seen of the breaking pitch, and it was fairly good. But this time he misses outside, puts 2 runners on for Carson Sims. Back-to-back walks to begin this inning for Ogden. Right-hander looking in against Carson Sims, who is 0 for 1 today. He struck out but scored on a drop third strike back in the second inning. Was hit by a pitch in the third and also came around to score. This pitch in the dirt gets by the catcher, Brennan. Actually looks like that's still Cunningham behind the dish. Oh. Both runners advance on that wild pitch, and it's a 1-0 count with Meyer at third and Pimley at second for Carson Sims. Those 2 runs that are out there in scoring position would meet the mercy rule requirement of 10 runs heading to the next half inning. But of course, Sims just looking to keep the lineup moving here as he couldn't decide if he wanted to offer up or not at the 2-0 pitch. Wound up taking strike 1. Still in control of the at-bat, though. Has some pitches he can look at from Ogden, who's had a little bit of trouble throwing strikes to start this outing. Here, Sims offers up at a pitch outside and fouls it off. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Corners in for Phoenix. Don't be surprised if there's a ball hit to the corner. They may try to cut down the lead runner. Here's the 2-2. That one misses outside off the glove of the catcher Cunningham. Breaking for the plate is Meyer. He will score. Pimley advancing to third, and Henley leads 13-4. And it'll be a full count to Carson Sims. Still with nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning. After Sims, it'll be Ryan Douglas. The 3-2 to Sims. Bounced foul down the third base side. We'll do it again. Infield in for the Pirates. They're certainly looking to cut down the lead runner here. With nobody out in the inning, can't really fault him either. You get an out at first, that run still scores and have to extend the game on the offensive side. Here's the 3-2. Sims fouls it off, a little bit out in front of the off-speed pitch, but still got a piece of it, so he's staying alive in this at-bat. Sims a sophomore, playing his second season at the varsity level, mostly as a pinch runner a season ago, as he takes ball 4 here. Put him at the corners for Ryan Douglas. This is going to issue a visit from the coach, Bill Hutchinson. That's 3 consecutive walks to start the game for Ogden, so see if they're making a move or what Phoenix has to do here. They are taking the ball from him. And so with that, we'll see a new pitcher for the Pirates. And we'll find out who it is as we take a break. Here's your coverage of Henley baseball continues on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
New pitcher out there for Phoenix, as Ogden's day was short-lived out there for the Pirates. It looks like it's going to be number 12 for Phoenix, and that would be looks like Morgan. Don't have a first name for Morgan, but he is out there. A couple guys missing from the Phoenix roster today, but we do know a last name for the young man. Taking a look at Morgan on the season for Phoenix. Actually, his first appearance this year. Has yet to throw an inning for the Pirates. He inherits a situation with runners at the corners and nobody out, and his team down 9 in the bottom of the 4th inning. First batter is Ryan Douglas, and he will look at ball 1 outside, 1-0. So it was Ogden to start this inning, but 3 consecutive walks. Saw him exit quickly. Sims, Pimley out there on base. The 1-0. Off-speed pitch, misses high, 2-0. So Douglas, and then the lineup card turns over for Henley. It's Connor Shively and Mark Carpenter, should the lineup stay in order. And it looks like it does. I see those guys with batting gear on over there. The 2-0 misses high, 3-0. Got a score update for Henley softball during that break. Looks like the Henley Hornets lead the Phoenix Pirates over there 4-3 in the 5th inning. The Hornets softball team looking to bounce back after a loss last time out to Hidden Valley. As a walk will load the bases for the top of the Henley order. Sims to second, Douglas aboard at first. And here's Connor Shively. Shively this game he's walked singled and scored and hit a sacrifice fly for an RBI in the third inning. Infield in for the Pirates. Shively takes the first pitch low above the shoelaces for ball one. Shively, we've talked about it a little bit this year, a season ago, an all-state catcher. Now starting at shortstop this season with the emergence of Jacoby Tacchini. Here's the 1-0. Shively drives it the other way, foul. I think it's very easy for a guy in Shively's spot, right? You're a junior. You had all-conference, all-state accolades at your position, and here comes a freshman ready to take your job. But Shively is adjusted really well and sends a line drive into right field. That'll get down for a base hit and score a couple runs. Pimley is in, Sims is in, and winding up at third is Douglas. And a 2 RBI single for Connor Shively puts Henley into Mercy Rule territory, up 15-4, and runners at the corners for Mark Carpenter. Carpenter is 1 for 2 today. Grounded out in the first, walked and scored in the second. He singled in an RBI in the third inning. Another RBI opportunity here for one of the best hitters in the conference. First pitch to Carpenter, looked at for strike one. Still nobody out in this inning. 4 walks and a base hit. Have the Hornets scoring 3 runs already in the fourth. Small lead off of first for Shively. Carpenter sends one high, pop fly into the infield. Second baseman Jennings is getting a bad read. It drops behind him. Shively in at second safely. And that's going to allow Ryan Douglas to score from third. And it looks like they're going to mark that as a hit for Carpenter. Shively to second. Carpenter with another RBI single. A tough read on that ball for Jennings, having to battle the sun. So I suppose not a routine play. 2 runners on for the aforementioned freshman phenom Jacoby Tacchini. So far for Tacchini today, he was hit by a pitch, reached on an error, and Frost came around to score as a courtesy runner for him. He also hit a RBI double in the third inning. And again, Frost would come around to score there on his behalf. Now ahead in the count, 2-0 is Tacchini with Bo Pyle waiting on deck. Here's the pitch. That one in the dirt, blocked by Cunningham. 3-0. In danger of issuing another walk here is Morgan. Right-hander set. Kicks, delivers the 3-0. That one came in and hit Tacchini. Second time he's been hit today. And that will load the bases as Shively moves to third, Carpenter to second, and it'll be Porter Frost aboard at first for the cleanup hitter, Bo Pyle. It was Phoenix's cleanup hitter who hit earlier in the game with the bases loaded, and it turned out to be a bases-clearing triple at the time for Luke Jennings. Sure, Bo Pyle would like to have his turn with the bases juiced. First pitch is going to get away from the catcher, Cunningham, and that is going to score Shively. Everyone else moves up a station, so, well, there goes your bases loaded chance, I suppose, for Pyle. But still 2 runners out there in scoring position and a chance to continue to do some damage as Henley piles on, now up 17-4. Carpenter at third, Frost at second. Here's the pitch to Pyle. Chases the high fastball, 1-1. After Pyle, it's Corbin Hamilton on deck for Henley. Pyle keeps his hands low in the batting stance and a big leg kick as well as he fouls that one off, 1-2. Really gets a lot of power with that tall leg kick and is able to have quick hands through the zone because he has those hands so low. That's why he's able to drive the ball like he does and is racking up the extra base hits to start the year. 1-2, chases the high fastball, and he goes down on strikes this time. Said it, that's the pitch. It's so hard to lay off for power hitters. That high fastball looks so good coming out of the pitcher's hands, but hard to keep that discipline and not chase it. Here's Corbin Hamilton stepping in. He's 2 for 2 today. He's reached base 3 times, singled twice, walked once. Takes the curveball low, over the plate, but low for ball 1. After Hamilton, it's Ian Meyer, who got the party started with a walk earlier this inning. Here's the 1-0. Takes a look at that one high, 2-0. First base is open, 1 away in the bottom of the 4th inning. Henley leads 17-4. 2-0. Pitch jammed Hamilton. He swung out of the zone, 2-1. Pitch was a 2-seamer running back towards the right-hander and offered up at a pitch in on his hands. Morgan set with the 2-1. The pitch is going to miss wide, 3-1. Cunningham doing everything he can to try to frame that one up for the home plate umpire, but that was fairly clearly about 5 inches off the outside of the plate. Here's the 3-1. That one is going to miss high. And so there's Hamilton aboard at first. Likely going to see Barrett in to run for him again. And that will bring up Ian Meyer, who again walked earlier this inning. Other than that walk, Meyer is 0 for 2. Offers up at a first pitch fastball and swings through it for an 0-1 count. Pimley waits on deck for the Hornets. Here's the 0-1 to Meyer. Curveball swung on and missed for Ian, 0-2. See where Morgan goes again here. The 0-2 is in the dirt. Tried to go with the heat, but threw it a little bit low, 1-2. Again, these two teams will meet again on Saturday in a doubleheader at Culver Field in Phoenix. Those will be games 2 and 3 of a 4-game season series as the 1-2 pitch misses high, 2-2. Again, the final game of the Skyline Conference regular season will feature the Hornets and the Pirates. 2-2. That one is lined right to the shortstop Schiltz, and he will get to second for a unassisted double play for Sam Schiltz. That ends the inning. But Henley scores 5 more in the inning, and they do it with 2 base hits. They leave 2 runners stranded, and they'll look to close it out in the 5th next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
(17-4) in the top of the 5th inning. Hornets look to close out the Phoenix Pirates and win their 4th Skyline Conference game this season. I'll give you a score update from the Henley softball team as they are up 5-3. Looks to be in the 6th inning over there. But again, the Hornets looking to shut things down in the 5th. They'll have to go through Luca Petrone, Connor Cunningham, and Chris Phillips to do so. Corbin Hamilton looking to go the distance. If he can find 3 outs before the Pirates find 4 runs, he'll have pitched a complete game. First pitch swinging for Petrone. Ground ball to short. Backhanded by Shively. Throw in time. And one pitch and one out, courtesy of a nice play there at shortstop from Connor Shively. That's exactly what I was talking about that last half inning. You need to have soft hands to be a catcher. That's what Shively was before moving out to short. And, well, there he is showing it off again. You know, interesting, earlier in the season, had the chance to talk to the Oregon Tech head baseball coach, Ricky Walker. And he had explained his pitch for why he thinks the shortstop is the captain of the infield, whereas I've always heard of it as the catcher, right? Giving signs to the rest of the team. The only guy facing out, the 0-1 pitch to Cunningham, is on the way, looked at for strike two. But he said that the guy out there, he's the one directing traffic, really telling things what to do. The captain defensively, a lot of balls hit to him, got to make those plays. And Shively, having played both roles, he certainly fits the bill. As the 0-2 is fouled off from Cunningham, he'll do it again. If there's one thing Connor Shively is, it's certainly a leader. And you can see it any time he's out there on the field. Corbin Hamilton out of the windup and an 0-2 count. Pitch looked at for ball one. It missed high to the Phoenix catcher, who's 0 for 1 today. He struck out in the first and was hit by a pitch in the third. 1-2, bounced foul down the third base side. We'll do it again. After Cunningham, it's Chris Phillips for the Phoenix Pirates. The catcher, tall batting stance, awaits the delivery from Hamilton. That one misses high, 2-2. Henley looking to close up their 5th win in a row and their 14th in a row over the Phoenix Pirates. The 2-2 from Hamilton is looked at low for ball 3. And credit where credit is due for Cunningham. Worked an 0-2 count into a 3-2 count. The pitch is going to miss high, and there he is on base with a 1-out walk. Brings up Phillips with a runner on and 1 out. Chris Phillips today struck out. He also walked in the third and came around to score. We'll see if the Pirates have anything going on the base paths. The run out there is valuable, but it won't matter unless you can tack on 3 more after it. Pitch in the zone, 0-1 from Hamilton. Just trying to throw strikes, have a ball put into play here. The middle infield, Shively at short, Pyle at second. They're playing double play depth, cheating a little bit towards the bag, trying to turn 2. Here's the 0-1. That pitch misses down, 1-1. After Phillips, it's Sam Schiltz. And a ground ball to Carpenter. He's going to look to turn 2. On to Pyle for 1. Throw to first is not in time. So a fielder's choice will allow Phillips to reach first for Sam Schiltz. 2 away in the inning. And runner on first. Schiltz today is 1 for 2. He grounded out in the first inning, singled in a run in the third. Ian Meyer not worrying about holding the runner at first, playing straight away there. Pitch from Hamilton misses in, 1-0. Again, that runner on first won't matter too much if it comes around to score. Henley still in the mercy rule margin right now, leading by 13 as the Pirates down to their final out. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Over the heart of the plate for a strike, and stealing second of the process is Phillips. No throw down, but he is now in scoring position, and a 1-1 count at the plate is Sam Schiltz. Schiltz, a sophomore this year, had a great freshman campaign for Phoenix. Ground ball to second, took a nasty hop in the infield. Pyle recovers, but he'll opt not to throw. Probably better saving a run that way, but it took a pretty wicked hop off the cut of the grass in front of the dirt. And again, I mean, great reaction time by Pyle just to even knock it down at all, but unable to make a play after it. It'll go in the books as a infield single for Sam Schiltz. And Phillips over to third. And here comes Luke Jennings. First pitch to Jennings, lifted in the infield. This could do it. Over is the second baseman, Pyle, and he will make the catch to end the ball game. The Hornets victorious in the Skyline Conference, this time winning 17-4 over the Phoenix Pirates. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll tell you what the Pacific Power play of the day is. We'll also give you the final line score and wrap this one up for you. This is Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place and then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
This game is final. It is 17-4. Henley picking up another win here in the Skyline Conference. For the Hornets, 17 runs on 10 hits. They committed no errors, and they left 4 runners on base. For Phoenix today, 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 error. They left 3 runners on base. Our winning pitcher today is Corbin Hamilton, going the distance, 5 innings pitched, only gave up 2 hits, 4 runs. 1 of them was earned. He walked 3 and struck out 7. Losing pitcher today, Chris Phillips, going an inning and a third, 4 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 1 walk, no strikeouts. Getting the start today was Caden Sousa for Phoenix. Went an inning and 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 7 runs. None of them were earned, and that really started the downward spiral for Phoenix, was that second inning in which Henley plated 7 runs. Now, typically around this time, we pick a Pacific Power play of the day, and I'm torn here because we have a double from Bo Pyle, RBI double in the 3rd inning. Really great hit, extended his extra base hitting streak to 3 games now, which is remarkable. But I also got to give props to the young man on the mound, Corbin Hamilton, for just pitching an extraordinary game all day long. And with 6 strikeouts, only a few shy of his season total. I think I'll have to go with Bo Pyle as the Pacific Power play of the day. Extending that extra base hitting streak. He scored 2 runs, added an RBI, 1 for 3 day. Bo Pyle, you've got the Pacific Power play of the day. Other notables for Henley include a 2 for 3 day for Connor Shively. He added 3 RBIs, as well as Mark Carpenter going 2 for 3 with a couple of RBIs himself. Jacoby Takini, Corbin Hamilton, Ryan Douglas, each adding hits and runs batted in for as well. Going to highlight someone from Phoenix as well. Had a good day today. That's Sam Schultz. He finished 2 for 3 with an RBI for Phoenix. Once again, the final score here, 17-4. This win improves Henley to 4-0 in Skyline Conference play, 8-2 overall on the season. Look to climb a bit higher than that number 9 ranking in the OSAA computer rankings. Meantime, for Phoenix, They now dip to 3-6 on the season, 1-3 in Skyline Conference play. But these teams have a chance to do it all again on Saturday. A doubleheader will start at noon between the Pirates and the Hornets, and we'll have it right here on 104.3 and 960 Sports. I want to also make a quick note before we hop off the air tonight. Of course, Wednesday is typically our show, Ballin' in the Basin, which airs weekly on Wednesday nights on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Well, that's actually changing, of course, with Henley playing on Wednesdays for the rest of the season. We have moved our show to Thursday nights. So be sure to tune in tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, right here on this station, and hear from outgoing Oregon Tech assistant basketball coach Paul Poach, who announced his retirement a couple of weeks ago. We'll talk to Coach Poach, I'm sure, at length tomorrow night on 104.3 and 960 Sports. I want to thank everybody that made today's broadcast possible. We'll start with both head coaches, Bill Hutchinson for the Phoenix Pirates and Sean Teeters for the Henley Hornets, for meeting with us before the game today. Also want to thank the athletic director here at Henley High School, Luke Hammond, for getting us set up. We got our nice little perch for our camera to sit on right here behind home plate. That's thanks to hard, heavy lifting from Luke Hammond to make sure we had a place to set that bad boy. So big thanks to him, as well as Rob Sims, our official scorer today, making sure I halfway know what I'm talking about here on the booth. So big thanks to everybody. And of course, joining me for the first time on the broadcast today, Mr. Walter Hartley. You'll be hearing more from him, I'm sure, as the season goes on here on 104.3 and 960 Sports. But until then, we'll give you the final score one more time. The Hornets are victorious over the Pirates to the tune of 17-4. My name is Josh Eldridge. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night from Rosser Field at Henley High School.